and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. If I continue, these two verses here shows the understanding of men that has lived on this earth before now, that had the understanding that there is a being higher than all, that has the power within himself to change the time that kings, the mighty kings of the earth, have set to destroy a man whom they look down at. A man whom they believed that whatever decision they take over him, will no man change. A man whom they believed is a pushover so long as they are consigned. A man that whatever decisions they take over him, will no one ask them question about. A man, whatever they decided to do about him will not be changed by any other mortal living on this earth. King, you have said your own. King, you have taken your decisions. King, you may think that you are the final authority over all. But listen to us. Our time and our season is not in your hand. You have no right to determine what happens unto us. You may be an Alpha and Omega in this kingdom and over all territories under your control. You may look down at us, but our case is different. We have somebody somewhere, a supreme being that has the final say over our life. He will change the times, the conditions. You have decided over our lives. Then was Nebuchadnezzar, full of fury. They always be angry. And the form of his visage was changed. Against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they don't want anyone that will stand their way. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heated. And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Don't be agitated while they are wasting their time in bounding you with the clothes that you wear. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments were cast to the burning fiery furnace. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot, the flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down bound to the midst of the burning fiery furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished, and rose up in haste, and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. When they kill, they want to share the punishment with all around them. Only Nebuchadnezzar asked that the fire should be heated 7 times. When the deed was done, he involved all that work under him, did not we. And nobody was bold to challenge him and say, "Oh God, you did it all by yourself." All of them answered, "Yes, judgment should come upon all of us." He answered and said, "Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no heart. And the form of the 4th is like the son of who? Of who? Of who?" Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake and said, "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth and come hither." Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth to the midst of fire. 29 and 30. Therefore I make a decree that every people, nation, and language who speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be cut in pieces, and their houses shall be made a dunghill, because there is no other God that can be delivered after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, the province of Babylon. The time that was set to be a time of their destruction, God changed it to become a time of their international security. I make a decree: any people, any nation, any language that will say anything against their God and against them will cease to exist. Just speaking it out, not yet acting it. That family, that home, that husband and wife, that man, that woman that took that decision, made that pronouncement at the coven of witchcraft, at the temple of occultism, at the shore of marine, that same moment, that person will cease to exist. I speak to your life this morning. Any man or woman that speak trash against your life cease to exist. Anyone they send to go and monitor your life so that they will have opportunity to destroy you, destruction will sweep him out. Anyone that plans your downfall, plans your destruction, the entire lineage of that individual will be destroyed out of this earth. At the time they are planning for your demotion, for your destruction, for you to be roasted in the fire, that same time God is planning for your promotion. And the same man that planned to burn you with fire is the same man that will announce your promotion. At a particular time in the life of Daniel, his haters threw him to the den of lion. But he that had power over time and seasons turned that to favor Daniel. Sometimes these enemies are not wise. They waste their time. They forfeit their sleep. They spend their money planning your downfall. And they didn't know there is a being somewhere that steps in when it appears in the eyes of man. It is late. Look at this case here of Daniel. Does it not, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, does it not seem late in the eyes of man? if there is God, why didn't he show forth? Why would they enter fire first? If they didn't enter fire, the deliverance will not be sweet. God will wait when your enemy had fully exhausted all the tools they depended upon. Nebuchadnezzar exhausted all the firewood in the entire Babylon. They heated the fire 7 times hotter. 7 times hotter. And through these people, he was one that woke up. There was he rose in amazement, astonished. Did not we? Okay, I don't follow you. Cast 7 people into the fire. I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of fire. Because when they threw them, they saw them landed on the floor of fire, and they started celebration because their enemy that refused to serve their God is dead. Suddenly, he saw them having sweet fellowship. Amazing grace, how sweet thou art. That was the song they were beautifully singing there. They were going around singing and worshiping the King of Kings, the one that used fire to sew his clothes. How can ordinary fire burn him? The one that floods of fire like volcano. Volcano is a child's play. If you have seen real volcano, to compare with the fire that issue out from the throne where our Father sits. Show forth and look at Nebuchadnezzar and ask him, what is this lighter doing here? All the strength of Nebuchadnezzar, the fire they will kindle looks like a lighter in the eyes of God. Does human being fear lighter? They put it inside their pocket. That's what human being does with lighter. The people that smokes put it inside their pocket, brings it, and go their way. Nebuchadnezzar was shocked and surprised, and he cried, am I seeing double? Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, if what I am seeing is true, you people should come out. And they came out, and people began to examine them. The hairs on their body was not touched by the fire. The only person that lost during this incident was Nebuchadnezzar. He lost the mighty men in his army. Anyone after you are alive, he will lose his strength. He will lose his confidence. The herbalist making juju for him, he will lose him. The occult grandmaster making things for him, he will lose him. The powers he trusted upon, he will lose him. Do not be afraid. Our problem is fear. I had a story from a prominent man in the land that gladdens my heart. In Lagos here at Ajagula. That this particular man, before now he was in poverty. And the landlord where he lives, using to play table tennis, he tossed him about. He maltreated him as if he, the landlord, is in control of time and season. That because he is landlord today, no other person will become landlord again. That he has become landlord and closed the door, nobody will enter the room of landlord again. This man was struggling and struggling. And a day came. That door, this landlord shut, opened for him. And he entered and traveled far than him. Very far than him. An issue came. Sickness hit the former landlord. And secretly, he does not want to let people know he wants to sell his house to cure himself. And this man, his tenant, he has used as a table tennis. Go to know about it and stay by the corner. Employed a lawyer, send this lawyer, go and get that property for me. And the lawyer went to meet the landlord. And they discussed. He was in need of money. So there's no need of who want to buy. And they discussed. And they agreed on a price. Money was moved into his account. They allowed him to be in the compound. And a day came. The lawyer came and told him that the landlord is coming to take over possession, and so that you will quit from the house. And they gladly accept. And the day of the meeting, they knock at his door. The man sitting as a new landlord was a tenant he trampled over. The man felt shock. He didn't wake up from that shock. He entered his grave. Time and seasons changes the handwriting on the wall of people's life. Time and season demotes and promotes. Time and seasons changes people's address. Time and seasons changes people's name, or you can call it title. Don't ever be arrogant in life because you do not have power over time and season. If light shine around you now, don't insult the person that light have not shined around him, because you may become your destiny helper tomorrow. Daniel chapter 6 from verse 16. Then the king commanded, and they brought Daniel and cast him into the den of lions. Now the king spake and said unto Daniel, thy God, whom thou servest continually, he will deliver thee. And the stone was brought and laid upon the mouth of the den. And the king sealed it with his own signet and with the signet of his lords, that the purpose might not be changed concerning Daniel. Then the king went to his palace and passed the night fasting. Neither was instrument of music brought before him, and his sleep went from him. Then the king arose very early in the morning and went in haste to the den of lions. And when he came to the den, he cried with a lamentable voice unto Daniel. The king spake and said to Daniel, O Daniel, servant of the living God, is thy God, whom thou servest continually, able to deliver thee from the lions? Then said Daniel unto the king, O king, live forever. This was from the den of lions. My God has sent his angel, and has shut the lions' mouths, that they have not hurt me. For as much as before him innocency was found in me, and also before thee, O king, have I done no hurt. Then was the king exceedingly glad for him, and commanded that they should take Daniel up out of the den. So Daniel was taken up out of the den, and no manner of hurt was found upon him, because he believed in his God. The king commanded, and they brought those men which had accused Daniel, and they cast them to the den of lions. Then their children, their wives, and the lion had the mastery of them, and break all their bones in pieces, or ever they came at the bottom of the den. Then the king Darius wrote unto all people, nation, language, or languages that dwell in all the earth, peace be multiplied. I make a decree that in every dominion of my kingdom, men trembled and fear before the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, and steadfast forever. And his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed, and his dominion shall be even unto the end. He delivereth and rescueth. And he worketh signs and wonders in heaven and in earth, who had delivered Daniel from the power of the lions. So this Daniel prospered. The time they want to kill him is the time heaven planned for his prosperity. The God that does not change, but changes the change. 120 people that plotted his destruction, their children, their wives, died the death of Daniel. Any man or woman that has programmed you are dead, programmed for you to die, the person will die, you are dead. Their wives will die, you are dead. Their children will die, you are dead. Anyone involved in that discussion will die, you are dead. God changed the time that's supposed to be the end of Daniel on earth to become the time of the beginning of his manifestation, the beginning of his announcement. It was this season that made the whole earth to hear about him, because Darius wrote a letter and served it all over the earth about Daniel and the God that Daniel represents. The time that he's supposed to die became the time that brought life into his life. The time that he's supposed to die in hunger and starvation inside the den of the lion became the time he prospered in every area of his life. The time he's supposed to be consumed by a lion became the time he consumed those that plotted that he should be meal to the lions. When God showed up, the time your enemies designed to dethrone you will turn back to become the time for your promotion. God will change the time of poverty to that time into your time of prosperity. Time of death into that of abundant life. Time of suffering into that of enjoyment. Time of crying into that of laughter. Time of shame into that of glory. When God stepped forward because of you. The time, the seasons, which an enemy showed up will become a time of defeat in their own lives. They are not wise. That's why they struggle. I don't know why the enemies do not sit down on time to take stock. They only sit down after their destruction is already sealed. They don't sit down to take stock of their life. Look at the losses here. 120. At that time, people marry more than one wife. And all these people were all rich. But let's assume 2. That's another 240. At that time, people have up to 10 wives. Children. This was the same period with the story of Esther, because it was after this king Darius here that Ahasuerus came on board. Haman had 10 children. Let's assume 5 here. 600 children plus 120 plus 240. These were the number of people that died because of Daniel. That herbalist, that coven of witchcraft, that occultic temple, that marine square that accepted your photograph or the sand of your feet for wickedness, I wipe them off. I wipe them off. God is out to change the time of your poverty into that of prosperity. When God stepped forward because of you, the time and the season which enemy designed to disgrace you become a time to favor you. The time they step forward to request for your life will become a time when life will be added to your life. You didn't understand John chapter 10:10. It came to give you life. Inside life. Life, an abundant life. It will become time when the book of remembrance that was hidden away because the enemy knows what will become of you any day this book will be read. One, God step forward. That time, the book of your remembrance will be open, and your deed that will lead to your promotion will be discovered. To become a time when your haters will be the one that will be made by the king's decree to announce you. You don't understand that what happens on earth in the palace happens in heaven? God decreed it is your enemy that will announce you. He will create situations that will make it possible. When that situation wants to come, it might wear an ugly overall that you may run away from. But if you're a man that always submits to the will of God, you will be surprised that that journey will lead to your announcement. And you know, it always sweets and gladdens the heart when your enemy that swore that they will never be alive and you make it, and the one that situations of life have forced them to be the one that announces you. When God steps forward into your case, it becomes a time when those who are not happy to see you sitting at the gate of the king as a gate man will become the people that will dress you up with a king's robe. They don't like you sitting at the gate, but now they are the one that will decorate you to go to the palace. You can't wear king's robe and sit at the gate. Once you are dressed with king's robe, there is a particular palace created for you. After Samuel poured the oil on the head of David, did he return back to go and carry goat and the ram of his father? Where did he went to? What did he went to? The palace of Saul. First, he returned back home and went to the field of war where his international announcement was made. When God stepped forward, this God that does not change but changes the change over your case, it will become a time when for the first time in your life you will be made to ride on the very chariot that the king is riding upon. That will be the day when you will be promoted beyond the imaginations of your enemies. When God, who changes time, step forward into your case, that time that people look down on you will be over for good. That time when people ask you in their arrogancy and pomposity, who are you, will be over. That time when people will deliberately relocate your seat to the back side will be over. I don't know whether somebody understand what today hold for us. God turns difficult time into that time that will favor man. When God steps forward, he will turn hardship into a plentiful season. Genesis chapter 26. Genesis chapter 26. From verse 1 to 4 says, and there was a famine in the land, beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of Philistines, unto Gerar. And the Lord appeared unto him and said, go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries. And I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I will make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven. And I will give unto thy seed all these countries. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed. You like that? From verse 12. Then Isaac sowed in that land, and received in that same year 100-fold. And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great, and went forward, and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks, and possession of herds, and great store of servants. And the Philistines envied him. Landlord began to envy a tenant. Philistines envied him. Landlord called you and says, I can no longer live in the same house with you. You can no longer live in this compound. He may not voice it out. You are bigger than this compound. Leave my compound. This was what took place here. The king began to fight with Isaac and told him openly, you are greater than us. Leave us. The Philistines envied him. The Philistines envied him. The Philistines envied him. Look at verse 16. And Abimelech said unto Isaac, go from us, for thou art much mightier than we. This is a king of a whole nation. The we there is all the citizens of that nation. And the king tells Isaac, leave this country for us. You are bigger than all of us from this country. One man. One man. He just had little children here, infant children. If you look at verse 27 of chapter 25, and their boys grew. So it was still at the tender years of Isaac. There was no battalion with him, no army barrack with him, no navy barrack with him, no air force barrack with him. He was just a family man. But what Isaac carried was bigger than a nation. And Abimelech, if you read stories that led to this statement, they will use all, our local language, kona, to speak to him. And Isaac did not hear. They blocked the well. People of that far east, the water is more expensive than gold. Recently, some years ago, 2002, thereabout, when the World Cup was hosted at Qatar, that's when people understand this saying that water is more expensive than gold. In Qatar, water is more costlier than crude oil. That's a country that citizens do not farm because there is no land to farm. Anywhere you touch, oil will burst out. And they use all corner, get out, go. Isaac closed his ear. He doesn't understand sign language. Abimelech said, come. My citizens have been playing this drama with you, and you refuse to understand what they are saying. Isaac, leave us. Get out from this country. We can't live with this country with you again. We cannot live with you in this country again with you. When your times come, presidents of nations will be afraid of you. When your time comes, president of nation will sit in a waiting room, so that you will give them an attention. When your time comes, president of nations will charter a plane just for you. If you can give them just a time to visit and to bless their nation. When your time comes, a single person as you are will be greater than a whole nation. The question is, when will that time come? When? Now. Remember what I told you. Most times, that time will come with a particular overall. That time was to come in the life of Joseph. It came with overall of prison. That time was to come in the case of David. It came with death, standing with him face to face. Come, and I will take you and give your flesh to the birds of the air. That time came to these three men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and they were seeing themselves as roasted meat. That time came to Daniel, and he must spend a night with hungry lions in their own den. Not that you had a dream and lion appeared to you. You will enter the den where lions live, and the only door you are to escape from will be sealed with a king's signet that only the king will remove it. If that seal is tampered with, without king standing by, the person will be slaughtered like an ordinary goat. Today, your time will come. There's somebody here in the near future. In the near future, people will buy tickets to see you. I mean that people will come to see you and they will give them tag and they will stay, and that day will not accommodate them. They will go without tag so that when they come tomorrow or the next sitting day, the secretary and the people around will see the tag. I was there the other day. Sir, I was there the other day. They are telling you a secretary, sir, ma, I was there the other day. You don't understand what I'm talking about. But I'm telling somebody, that time is coming and it's not too much far. It's not too much far. I said it's not too much far. People will book tickets to come and see you. When God shows up, the season of famine will automatically turn to become the season of bountiful harvest. When God showed up, both the time and season of harvest will change to favor you. When God showed up to an individual in a particular time of his life, poverty will vacate. I didn't want to use the word leave. There's something can leave and the traces of that thing will remain there. But when something vacates, it's like a bulldozer pulling something out. A bulldozer visit this compound. After a while, if somebody passed here and they told him that there was a building here, the person will swear. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. Somebody, before you leave here today, there is a particular mark that will come upon you, that will for life, so long as you stand, that will for life vacate poverty from your life. I want to use this language the way it comes to me. Today, wake up. Today, wake up. That's the way the word came to me. When God will step forward into your case, you will change from no person to somebody. This one, who this one? There are elders in their father's home that are never consulted when decisions are being taken. Why? Sometimes many of us blame those things on our parents, on our mother, on our father, on our kinsmen. Why are they looking down on me? It is not their fault. The scripture said that there is a wise poor man that delivered a city with his wisdom when war was coming and nobody gave attention to him. That's why when a poor man brings out a good suggestion in kindred meeting or in a family, everyone will look down at him and they will ask him, if he come to money, will you bring it? Now to talk be matter. And when the younger one that has the money and knows next to nothing vomit nonsense that will put the entire family into trouble, that's what they will take. Because when the trouble comes, he will also bring the money to solve the trouble. After today, somebody here, people will desire to associate with you. Have somebody come from nowhere. You grow in the village. I don't mean those of you that grow in the township that don't know anybody. You only know the people that are born in your community. You know, village is a wonderful place. You will go to farm, associate with people. Go to stream, associate with people. Go to school, associate with people. You know, go far. You associate with people outside than place where you were born. You have a place to run after, go to play football, go to do this. So you have people everywhere. But in in township, it's only that locality. You wake up in the morning, your mother will guide you outside. A bike is waiting for you, take you to school. That bike brings you back. You know nobody. You understand what I mean? You understand it? People you do not know about will crown you. Today is dangerous on one angle and beautiful on another angle. You want to associate, they avoid you. And like I was saying, now, all of a sudden, with all these things you did in the village, you grow in the village, you did everything, knows everybody. Because you go to burial, you go to market, you go to everywhere. So you know all the relations of your mama's side, of your papa's side. People like us, some of us, you leave papa's side, you leave mama's side. We're just living everywhere. And now, something has happened in your life. Somebody come and begin to tell you a story you never heard from your parents, from your mama's side, from your papa's side. He's telling you that he is your mama, brother, auntie. Somebody here, get ready for such history. It's a good history. When it happened in your life, it shows you have made it. Have you seen dog following a flat tummy man? Dog does not follow a flat tummy man now. Dog follow a man that, because by all means, something that dog will eat will come out. Either I come from up or I come from down. So whenever somebody come and begin to tell you story, your mama, your papa, your aunties, sit down if you have time and listen. After you finish listening, then asking dangerous question. What is the reason of this story? What is the reason of this story? Let him use his own hand to bring himself out to the public. When God shows forth, a man will be translated and be transported from lack into abundance. Have you seen somebody that was extremely poor and overnight it becomes extremely rich? If you have not seen, you may have heard. The one I knew about, he collected those money. He hit a contract and money came. He gathered those money, went and looked for rope, tied them, entered the bush, cut cane, and was flogging the money. And he told the money, I am returning back the punishment you gave to me back to you. Started started flogging the money, flogging the money, flogging the money. After he flogged, he will sit back. So when I may get this money. You know, some of you in the church that God stands for are crying that you are poor. You are not poor. You are not yet there, but you are not poor. If you see somebody that is poor, nobody will tell. A poor man does not use his mouth to say he's poor. No. You see, you don't eat in the morning. You have no hope of eating in the night. You have no hope of eating tomorrow. Have you seen a man? They chased him out. Landlord threw his loads out. One child lives in Anambra State. Another child lives in Borno State. Another one lives in Cross River. Another one lives Zamfara. The wife lives at Kafanchan. A man. Go and ask that man, what is poverty? And such a man, all of a sudden, he hit words. The person will understand what grace of God is. What grace of God is. The Lord will catapult you from lack to abundance. From feeble man to a great man. You will grow until you become great. You become a man with possessions of wealth. What man needs in life is for this God that changes times and situations and seasons to step into his life at a particular season in his life. And that day is today. This God I talk about, I'm telling you about today, removes kings and replaces them with other kings. It's if you're in Kingdom Power, you know this. You know this passage of the scripture, 1 Chronicles chapter 10. 1 Chronicles chapter 10, 13 and 14. So Saul died for his transgression, which he committed against the Lord, even against the word of the Lord, which he kept not, and also for asking counsel of one that had a familiar spirit to inquire of it, and inquire not of the Lord. Therefore he slew him and turned the kingdom unto David the son of Jesse. God will kill this king and replace him with another king. Throne will never be vacant. Throne will never be vacant. I am praying for somebody today that you will be that man that God is searching for. As a replacement to that vacant throne. Because today is going to remove a lot of kings. And it will never be vacant. When God removes a king, he will never return to that throne a man that have the same character and qualities with the one he removed. He will bring a man better than the person he removed. What's the use of removing the first person if he will also bring a man with the same character, with the same qualities of life? That's why this beginning of 2020, 25, you must be born again. Because many thrones will be vacant. Many thrones will be vacant. You know what happened in Nigeria, at least in, we will call it 3 times in this country. During the time of Murtala Muhammad assassination. Why those closer to the dead will be battling on how to bury their dead, the nation will be busy seeking for replacement, because the throne will never be vacant. That was the first time a nation pleaded with a man to take over the seat of power. Because at that time, citizens of the country have not seen the seat of power as a means to loot. They pleaded and begged Obasanjo, seriously, begged and begged and begged and begged, very seriously, and the man refused. Until the GOC that was in custody of Dinka called him on phone and said, "Sir, this is the last speech I'm going to have with you. If you refuse to take the throne, because it is your right, as I drop this call now, I will release Dinka to take over the government." And Obasanjo knew that he will not escape if Dinka take over the government. And he took over the seat of power. I've told you the story. As he got back to his home, the family. What I'm telling you is in the book, A National History in Nigeria. It's in the book. So he got back to his home after he took the oath of office and everything. Went back to his family, the whole family, everybody started crying. And one of them make a statement: Nigeria is not worth dying for. It's a country that killed their leader because of fear of what happened to Murtala. Abacha, when his own happened, while they were thinking on how to move the corpse to Kanu, there was a great meeting called, and you see maneuvering and manipulations. Before they know it, they retire those that are supposed not to be retired. After they played their game, the most senior next to Abacha, he came to the meeting expecting everyone to stand up to. He saw another person. They have promoted him overnight. And he became the commander-in-chief. You cannot remain without rank when this one is already in charge. Therefore, they will remove the rank and retire you. Are you seeing that? Throne will never be vacant. You saw the manipulation when Yaradua died. They did everything until the doctrine of necessity came on board. Get born again early this January. Throne will be vacant. And at the end of today's message and prayer, you will start hearing stories of the vacancies out there. But you saw, if throne is vacant, doesn't matter how long. It's just the story I told you about Obasanjo taking over and bringing Dimka. Dimka went for that throne, shot Murtala dead for that throne. And the throne was vacant, but they did not return him. They were seeking for somebody that was suitable for that throne. Are you following? Get born again. Throne will be vacant today. And you remember what I says? Once throne is vacant, replacement must be sought 4. Tell yourself, I am a suitable replacement. Are you born again? That's the first qualification. If God kills Saul and bring a sinner back to the throne, even you will ask question. Even you will ask question. But when he killed a sinner and bring a righteous one to take over, oh, no wonder this man died the way he died. Thank God he died. God is a righteous judge. You will start praising God by yourself. There is a God that is in control of times and seasons. It was the season and time that show forth, that changed the ugly story that the mother of Jabez imposed on Jabez. He was created an honorable man. The mother changed it to a reproach. It was time and season of Esther that showed forth. And the throne she was created to become. You saw the lineage he came out from. That's why you must pray very hard. She came from the tribe of Benjamin, where the first king of Israel came from. And God, in giving that tribe that royalty, God in his mind, whatever he does, the gift and the calling of God is without repentance. Am I correct? But you that he give that gift can throw the gift away. So this lady came from that tribe. Not just that she came from that tribe. Her father and the father and Saul were of the same father, Kish. So she came with royal blood running in her system. But the enemy saw one disadvantage. She had, the kingdom had left her lineage. The enemy, by whatever means, kill her mama, kill her papa. Now left her with ordinary gate man who's supposed to marry Esther, another gate man. Like begets like. Magnet will never magnet wood to magnet iron. Am I correct? But when her time and season came, Vashti removed herself from the throne, and the only suitable candidate to that throne was Esther. God, remember the royal blood in her system. When others were asking for makeup, weave-on, wig, attachment, palming, all this nonsense that makes women to look like masquerade, she didn't ask for anything. She appeared natural. She appeared natural. Have you seen president's wife putting those nonsense? President wives does not put it. And she appeared natural. Others were learning how to catch. How can a human being go and learn walking from cats? You know, sometimes human beings demote themselves so much without them knowing that have reduced themselves to ordinary animal. She was natural. When she was coming, the man in charge of women asked her. We said, no, I don't need anything. And the man knew it was to his advantage. I'm okay, by the way. What does she put on? Clothes that a gate man bought for her. She was one contented. Girls here listening. Some of you, once you go to university, the universe swallow you up. Because you lack contentment. If that lady was greedy, thank God, what I've not been able to see, food I've not eaten, things I've not worn, I've been seen on television, on the internet. That my girlfriend that was doing chakra for me, I will show her I've arrived. And not Esther. I don't need it. I'm okay with what my uncle bought for me. This was how he taught me to live life. And that day she went softly like that, without allowing the high heel she put on, because she didn't even have any. If they give her any high heel, she has not worn that before, she will fall. So she preferred to go with the bedroom slippers. She knew how to manage. Some ladies, on their high day, what they put on disqualified them. And she went. As soon as she came, this one will go to king. King will look at her, do whatever she want to do, keep her and say, wait, I'm coming. I'm not done yet. This one will come, wait, I'm not done yet. This one will come. The question is, how will this king remember all these women now? Now, as soon as Esther moved and entered, king called them immediately, discharge all the ladies in that room, tell people that have not come, I am done. I'm gotten the queen that I needed in the land. Do you see what being born again will do for you? Do you see what dressing simple will do for you? Do you see what we've on an attachment and all this nonsense we take away from you? All the ladies that wore that thing. Are you aware that most of those ladies that contested against Esther came from India? Are you aware of that? Most of them came from India because the kingdom covers India. Most of the Arab world are under that kingdom. One of them came there with all these things that they put on, but none of them was choosing. That's advantage of being born again. Your natural beauty speaks for you. Have you seen people that marry and either in one day or in 1 week they divorce? Have you seen them? Do you know the reason? Makeup deceived the man. And after they got home that same night or tomorrow morning, he will go to the supposed wife and, where is my wife? The wife said, what? Where's my wife? What happened? See me here now. You're not the one I married. It's like your parents have did to me what Laban did to Jacob. But the reality is that the lady had finished her deception. Reality, you must bath. You can't wear makeup on the bed. You can't wear this thing that they are putting in saloon. You see them in saloon where they will be naked and man will be bathing them and putting those things. You can't wear it to bed. You can wear it to reception. You can wear it on engagement day. You can wear it to take picture and post on the internet. There are limits where you cannot wear that thing. And the man have come and says, the first thing that man did is that he pick up a call. My in-law, where is my wife? The question looks strange. But no, the person I'm seeing is not. Madam, talk to that man, because you're not calling your father. Talk to that man. What happened? I don't know. The in-law will come. The man have not finished resting. The in-law will come. I say, even your papa will deny you. Because when your papa come, your papa will see the daughter he born. But will not see the lady that married yesterday. The lady that married yesterday have been washed off inside bedroom. Let's be careful. Am I speaking? Let's be careful. Any man that looks at your direction with your makeup want to have taste of you. A man that want to marry you want to see you are original. Did somebody hear what I said? When your time and your season come, heaven and earth unite together to favor you. You know, when heaven and earth unite together to favor you, you will start selecting blessings. You will start selecting blessings. After today, somebody here, you are going to have a little taste of what it means that heaven and earth uniting together to bless somebody. You will just have a little taste of it. You know, the word of God says, come and taste and see that the Lord is good. This generation of wickedness had not tasted that good side of God because they don't have God in their midst. Come and taste and see that the Lord is good. It was that sweetness of that taste that made David to say he preferred to be a gate man in the church than to be. But today, people are running away from the church. Not to talk about being at the gate. Why? Deception and wickedness that general overseers, senior pastors, apostles, and prophets, and people that claim to be leaders are perpetrating in the house that's supposed to be the house of God. When your time and season come, a common slave Daniel will be choosing than the citizens of Babylon. When your time and season come, tribe, nationality means nothing. Time and season is blind. Is blind. Was it not the time and season of Jacob that came? That even his father he grew with could not dictate him. Think about it. That Isaac's supposed to dictate the body movement of Jacob. But because it was time and season of Jacob, he could not dictate that this is Jacob. And as soon as Jacob left with blessing, Esau came and said, my father, arise and eat the venison of your son and bless me. He said, who is speaking? I'm your firstborn Esau, who had come to take blessing from me. Esau was shocked. And Isaac turned and says, I have blessed him, and he remained blessed. Now, he added to the sorrow of Esau. You will be a slave under him. The father you come to bless you. But when you are strong, you deliver yourself with sword. That is, this one, do it by yourself. If you go with the sword and Jacob have more power than you, he will kill you. You will remain slave, and your generation remain slave under him. But the time and season of Jacob, that day of that blessing, Esau went to the field, forest, looking for animal. Rebecca, their mother, just tell Jacob, accept to be blessed. Jacob said no. The mother started pampering him. He accepts. Just go there, bring one animal there. He didn't suffer the heat of the day, the insect bite and the danger in the forest. He didn't suffer anything. The mother entered the kitchen by herself, prepared the meal that she knew since the years of their marriage that Isaac loved, and gave it to him. When your time and season come, you never struggle. when your time and season come, you will understand Genesis chapter 3 very well. That curse is a sweat. That sweat is a curse on a man. Because when your time and season come, you will never sweat to make it. Was it not after the fall that sweat came? And it's a curse on man. You were around the day we raise it. It's a curse on a man. Because the ground, everything was turned against, so he must sweat. Before that time, Adam never knew anything sweat. Anywhere Adam, was, he will enjoy the glory of heaven. He is under the canopy of heaven. Every sun had not scorched him. He has not felt the heat of the day. He sleeps and wakes up in God. When your time and season come, stagnations of life will be over. I said it will be over. And today, your stagnation is over. Any root cause of stagnation in your life is under the curse of Almighty God. The Lord looked at the serpent and says, because thou hast done this, cursed you shall be. Anything that causes stagnation in your life, I curse them. Your time, your season will come today. Remember, you don't need to borrow anything from outside. Esther refused to borrow from the cart. Ladies that borrow from cart were rejected. You are complete. Have you not read it in Colossians chapter 2:10? And ye are complete in Christ Jesus. Any day you bring attachment and weave on and all this nonsense, you disqualify yourself from God's favor, from God's blessing, from God's choice. Are you aware that every year God will put his hand in his pocket? Listen to this. It's a secret. Appear as a man on earth, moving and searching for somebody that is preferred for that year for promotion on earth. Moving as a man, put his hand inside his pocket. Sometimes he appears as a supplier. Sometimes he appears as a manufacturer. And if the man enters the market, he will look away from all the rich and wealthy people in the market. He will go and locate a boy at the corner, thinking on what to eat. A boy, a grown-up boy. Because of the situation according to them in Nigeria, politicians deceive Nigerians and they are chasing them out, traveling out. All of them are traveling out, running away. And politician children, the day they graduate from abroad, they return back to Nigeria. Because they know that what Nigeria have, no other country, some continent on earth, what Nigeria have, the entire Europe do not have it. What I'm saying is online. They are hearing my voice. What Nigeria have, the entire Europe as a continent do not have it. The continent you see the worst poor people, if not for their packaging, is Europe. That's why they don't show all the Eastern Europe and Northern Europe, and they don't show us those areas. They only show us little corner of the Western Europe. That's the only thing they show us. Have you been hearing about Bulgaria? Their bread, if they use it to flog you. Those people there. Now, they push you out, you run. And this boy have gotten his visa to travel. The mother carried him to the pastor. The woman believes on prayer. And they got there, sir, pray for my son. And he saw this boy that does it. And the man bent down to pray and look up and said, the young man, but I am not seeing you making it in abroad. The young man said, what? I am not seeing you making it in abroad. So where did you see me making it? At Onitsha. The boy just opened the door, jumped out, and the man told, the pastor told the mother, if you want your son to make it, tell him to go to Onitsha. If you go to abroad, have his shoes. The boy left the mother there, pray for yourself, and left home. And prepare to travel. Came down to this Lagos, waiting for his date. And went to meet his friend and to squat with him before the date. When he got there, he saw that the friend has transformed from whom he knew him about. Whom he knew him before than whom he is seeing now. And he asked him, my brother, what happened? He said, no. A friend took me to a church and one pastor prayed for me and make a prophecy. That's what we are seeing now. Say, which pastor? He mentioned, God is a mathematician sometimes. He mentioned the same man that gave him this prophecy, that he banged his door and ran away. They say, wait you. Now the same man, my man carried me to go and meet you. The man said, what? What did he tell you? And I brought my visa and said, my man brought my visa and said, pray that I'm traveling. The man, can you imagine what this man said? No, he's no longer a pastor now. What this man says. He said, I will not make it abroad. That only place I will make it is Onitsha. The friend said, leave my house now and go to Onitsha. If you're not going to leave my house, pack out and leave. Don't travel anywhere. If that man says so, go to Onitsha. Where do I go to Onitsha? Go to Onitsha. Just when you cross that bridge, you have entered Onitsha. And the young man went there to prove the pastor wrong. And so he went to Onitsha. He called his friend, I'm at Onitsha. He said, remain at Onitsha. He roamed like this. He roamed like this. He roamed like this. He didn't have anybody at Onitsha. He didn't know where to go and stay. As he, God is a wonderful being. As he was roaming that thing, he felt hungry. Hunger came. And he decided to go and eat. The question I asked myself is that why must it be at that restaurant? As he went to eat that restaurant, something happened at that restaurant. All these Onitsha boros, if you want to see boros, you go to Onitsha. Those are Onitsha boros. Criminals. That before now they will just, as you are just passing, a man like you will just say, ask you about tax and rate. That tax, government does not spend it. They start fighting this Lebanese man. Fighting almost to kill the man. This boy left the food he was eating, went, defended the Lebanese man, and rescued him. The Lebanese man called him and says, take this card, come and see me in a place like this. And he went. The Lebanese man brought a lot of goods. They deal with anything. Can you market this? Can you market this? Can you market this? The boy went out to market. It's not up to 1 month, but let me, because I'm online, to say in 1 month. This happened at least, I think, in under 1 week. The boy starts swimming in millions. As now he got the phone number of that pastor from his mother to call and to apologize. As he called that pastor, and the moment the pastor picked, under few seconds, he sang 5 Christian songs and say, sir, I've made it. Where are you? Where you asked me to go? Is it where he asked him to go he went? No. Because he first came to Lagos. Am I communicating? When God wants to favor a man, location means nothing. I pity any youth that carry his bag and travel abroad, even to go and school. Even to go and school. Pity the youth. I've discovered recently that some people in America, in UK, will bring their children back to Nigeria to school. One woman online in Nigeria said openly he regretted in her lifetime ever to raise her children in America. That as she is now, she is like a woman without children. Are they ready to look after you? Are they ready to look after you? If you are getting small old, they will come and ask you to turn what you have to them. They will take you to the old people's home. They're not ready to take after you. And because the children of this woman has imbibed all the culture of that Western world, the woman is crying today that that is the worst mistake she made in her life. Because at her, she's not even old like that, but she is like a woman without a child. Nobody calls her mommy. Nobody comes closer to her. When your time and season shows forth, even your enemy will favor you. Your enemy will favor you. The time and the season of that young man that came to Lagos and went to Onisha and was favored came. That was why her disobedience did not play. And she was quick as soon as that money entered to call the man, the pastor, to amend ways with the man. When your time and season comes, you will discover one secret, that all the struggle you are struggling, that the wealth you need is where you are. Is where you are. And today, child of God, your time, your season will come. I will dethrone somebody for you to be enthroned. I will bring somebody down for you to climb. I will take somebody's title to give it to you. Today is a dangerous day on one side and a great day on the other side. Which area do you belong? You're the one that will make the choice by yourself. Is there anybody that have testimony there to share with us? Any testimony? Any testimony? All right, if you have come fast,